Hey, it's Ethan Skolnick for 5 on the Floor and the 5 Reasons Sports Network, and this is the latest season ticket. So there was a trade today for the Miami Heat. It's not necessarily the one that Heat fans were waiting for. Dewayne Dedmon, who was kind of a disaster. Well, not kind of a disaster. He was a disaster as a backup center this year. Traded along with a second-round pick to the San Antonio Spurs, essentially to clear money under the luxury tax and perhaps set up another move. And that's the key point here, the setting up another move part. Because I was told when they signed Dedmon to that contract this offseason that that contract would be used in a trade for something else when he became eligible for a trade on January 15th prior to the trade deadline. But of course, at least at this point, it has not been. It was used essentially to clear up some money. So I am expecting more things to go down. We are investigating all of that. I've told you repeatedly, watch Toronto, watch Utah, watch the Clippers. These are all teams that the Heat are dealing with right now. They're all possibilities, and the Heat could jump in on a trade with somebody else. But I just want to sort of put a postscript on the Dedmon era here. This was a weird deal. You know, they basically got him off the couch a couple of years ago, and he played very, very well for them his first season in a year where really the Heat didn't have a whole lot going on. He gave them a legitimate backup center. He might have been the best player in a certain game in the first round series loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. But last year he wasn't good, and this year was just awful. And I'm not exactly sure why he declined to the degree that he did. This all happened before the massage gun incident, after which he only got in one game, and that was unwatchable against Milwaukee. They were playing Udonis Haslem ahead of him. Orlando Robinson, of course, was playing ahead of him. And that's the other part to mention here, again, as I give the Dedmon postscript, is that Orlando Robinson came out today in practice and said that he'll be ready sooner than was anticipated, that he's going to try to play through this thing. I believe they're actually going to commit to Orlando Robinson with a standard contract now, not just the two-way, but I don't think that's the only thing they're doing. But just to get back to Dedmon, if this is all the Heat do, I understand why Heat fans are going to be upset, because they've gotten in this pattern of signing guys like him and Myers Leonard to be able to execute trades later. And we saw with Myers Leonard, basically they've just got them Trevor Ariza. Of course, that happened after Myers had the incident with the video game and the slur that he used. But in Dedmon's case, like, they were not anticipating playing him very much this year. They were supposed to play Yurt. Yurt got hurt in camp. They had to play Dedmon more than they expected. I don't think they thought he was going to be quite this bad. So now he's essentially the Spurs problem. They, of course, are rebuilding. They are trying to tank. They may play him a lot of minutes to tank, actually. That may be a good approach here. The second-round pick is way down the line, doesn't affect the Heat. But the other thing is, the Heat got a trade exception in this. That trade exception kind of fits with some contracts around the league. And then there was a report about Grant Williams wanting a whole lot of money. Grant Williams makes basically the trade exception. Something to look at. We reported that the Heat have interest in him, although I don't know that they necessarily have interest in a huge long-term deal for him. Ethan Skolnick for Season Ticket. This stuff's going to happen fast. This video may be obsolete by the time it posts, but we do know that Dewayne Dedmon is no longer a member of the Miami Heat. We'll have more on the players that the Heat are going for. OG Anunoby is an interesting name on the podcast tonight.